Adam. You seem to you kept in the game long enough, but you just at the end you just faded out. So how did you see the game yourself?
It was a bad game. It was a bad game. Look, we had average looking offense. And when we did execute, we had wide open looks. They didn't go in. We were sluggish to start each quarter. Tanner was great providing minutes. He was on a minutes plan, so we got cleared for today. Taryn, was still we had a pretty good week. And so it was kind of a disappointing performance by us. Maintaining a level of positivity within the group is important because you could see it. When the momentum shifts, they get a little bit discombobulated and rattled by it, and depending on what five you've had out there. But, it was really important. South East came out and exploded in that first quarter. We wanted to bring it down to single-digit margin at half-time. We got to 7. We had a couple of good looks. I think it was 9 at the half, and then had some really good stops on the defensive end to start the second half. And just it wasn't even that we didn't capitalise offensively. We just didn't look good. It was not very. So we just got to keep plugging away. And Rob being unavailable obviously hurt. But again, we're not in the business of making excuses. We had one game this week, and we had all week to prepare for it, getting the guys back in. So that was, again, that's probably what... It was such a good week. The energy within the group was good. The execution, the competition. I think we just... Too many guys trying to do too much, when the reality is we just need to play within a structure.
How hard is it to set up a team when there's so many moving parts this season? It's been quite frustrating for you, I imagine.
Yeah, and the worst thing is I don't want to go through the second half of this season and we sit here and wonder what could have been. As I said to the guys in the change room afterwards, Jonah getting tossed out is not great. Off the week of the sanction with Rob, right? And so I know you're frustrated. We're a slow-moving target in a sense of the scheme of things, right? So you don't want to give anybody a reason to put you in the crosshairs. And we've done that. And so we can sit here and talk about what could have been or should have been, or we can actually knuckle down and give this, next 18 games a red-hot crack. We control our destiny, and our backs against the wall. It's kind of good. It's all-in mindset, us versus the world. All these different cliches you can put in as a coach. But the reality is, gentlemen, we are in a bit of the shit at the moment, and it's only on us to dig ourselves out of it.
Can you take something out of the Phoenix? They started their season horribly and they've turned it around. Is that something you guys can do?
Oh, if they change out the coach, maybe. Terrible question.
No, just in terms of the mentality of the players. I mean, the Phoenix have really stepped up their defensive pressure, haven't they, in their ratings?
Well, ours is different. Again, right now, Warrenberg's gone through concussion protocol, and he does have a history of concussion. So we're very conscious of the fact that we've got one more game before the FIBA break for 2 weeks. There's not a very calculated risk in forcing him to play, right? And especially if he's going to be ruled out with concussion. Okay, we have another out, and while we still, the expectation is Tanner's minutes will go up next round, okay, now we'll do so without Wardenberg. So our situation's different in a sense of we're just shuffling the deck. Every week, we've got a different starting 5. Every week we got a different point guard. And now, this stretch of games, we're going to have a different starting centre and power forward. So you just got to keep sticking to the process, get through this FIBA. We're limping into the FIBA break. Worst case, we're going to be 3-9. Best bet, we're 4-8. And then we come out the other end, hopefully fresh and fit, and we roll with whatever we got.
Can you tell me what happened with Jonah with the referee? Was it just literally the mouthing off is the reason why he got tossed?
Yeah, I mean, it was off his foot, accidental foot, and then there was a foul that wasn't called, and he got frustrated, Jonah's been great for us defensively. I know he'll be frustrated with himself right now in the offensive end. He's had a couple of really good looks that haven't dropped for him. It's important that the message is, you just got to keep doing what you're doing for us defensively. So, he was put in a position that in our press break he's not supposed to be. And, that's on part DT's learning a new system. We've only had DT in for, just under a week. He was in the wrong spot. and put Jonah in a tough spot. And, frustrations took over. But, we've got to be better. We've got to be more professional. We've got to be mature. We can sit there and point fingers, or we can sit there and go, it's a losing battle. No matter who you address it to, what you say, how you go about it, you're never going to get what your intended message is. You're never going to get it across in your favour. It's always going to come out against you, either in suspension, sanctions, fines, or ejections. So, you can't fight the man. You just got to take your lumps and move on. And that's what's really important for us, is we can sit here again and talk about who's in and out in our lineup, or we just embrace the opportunity and play basketball.
And just with the Sam play, with the when you got hit with concussion, are you happy with just basketball play?
Oh yeah, I haven't looked at it. I didn't. I can't recall. So I just know my first initial reaction is he does have a history with it, and we're really conscious of that. And so I'm not putting anyone's health ahead of a game.
Adam, Max Beck here. You mentioned, feeling a sense of settlement during the week. Essentially, do you feel like it was the most settled week through training and things like that?
Well, no. It felt great energy amongst the group, but the reality was we started doing a little bit more stuff like what we did in pre-season this week, because we had to integrate DT, Taryn and Tanner back in. So there was a lot more 5-on-0 than what we usually do. There's a lot more shooting blocks out of the offense than what we do. And again, the focus that we had on it is probably what's disappointing, because it didn't transfer over into the game. But, again, the week itself was competitive. It was good energy amongst the group. The guys enjoyed being around each other. How long does that last, right? If you keep losing games, this 7 in a row, naturally stress and tension starts to pick up. My job as a head coach, right, is just to keep to the process and ticking away. And I credit the boys in that regards, is they come to work every day and they work hard.
How do you teach guys to regulate their emotions? In those kind of situations, which Jonah was tonight.
It's interesting, because up until about 12 months ago, I couldn't regulate my own emotions, right? And it's you sit here and it's a bit of self-reflection, and it's a big part of me knowing I'm a barometer of this group, and so if I carry on a particular way, that's going to feed into the group. So all I can do is just keep on top of the boys in a sense of accountability for what's important to us. But yeah, look, this time last year I was getting fines and sanctions and everything else.
Is there anything that you've done in particular to regulate your own emotions?
Nah, I think I just grew up.
Yeah.
42, had to at some point.
They done you on the offensive boards tonight, 7-14. How do you, kind of clean it up on that end of the floor? It's
been an issue. It happened for us against Brisbane as well. And so, Brisbane, we were up considerably, and that was off the back of, tidying up, those offensive rebounds, second chance points. They had 14 second chance points at the half. In what was a 9-point game. So we didn't fix it. Hopefully now Tanner, we've got the training wheels off him, and he will help fix that up, but it can't just be one person be the difference in terms of rebounding.
How did you view how Taryn Armstrong fit back in tonight?
Yeah, it was sluggish, dusting off the cobwebs. We'll get a better performance out of him next week.
17 turnovers, how do you clean that up?
Hopefully just not throw it out of bounds like we did for most of them. So credit to South East, they picked up full court and they did a good job of being smothering, but there was a lot of unforced errors too. So we just got to go back to the drawing board and keep plugging away.
Have you guys?
Awesome. Appreciate it, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.